Hello viewers, this is Tyler Marjan and I am back with another best of video, this time for the start of the current century 2000. For these next 18 or so videos, I'm going to try to release them every weekend, since I have at some point within the last year listened to all these songs before. As a result, I'm already familiar with them quite a bit. Anyways, about 2000. This year, after my father completed his PhD for engineering at the University of Colorado, he moved our family back to Reno, where I have lived ever since. In the midst of perhaps the most controversial presidential election in U.S. history, 2000 had its fair share of phenomenal songs. For the videos of this decade especially, I will try not to let nostalgia influence my pickings, but there are some instances where songs will have stuck with me so much that I can't ignore them. But, since this list is my opinion, I'm sure most of you viewers will be okay with that. Speaking of ignored songs, my regretted omission from 1999 is Unpretty by TLC. Anyways, let's get things started with 7 honorable mentions. This is arguably the best known song from NSYNC, and it's pretty obvious why. In this song, they are dumping their girlfriend for being manipulative and annoying, as emphasized by the music video where the boys are being controlled by an evil puppeteer. I still hear this song very frequently in the Reno area, and whenever I do hear it, I will listen to it and enjoy every second of it. Okay, this is probably going to be one of those songs that you're going to give me the stink eye for. But again, if you have problems, voice them in the comments section. Anyways, the soul hit from Irish singer Samantha Mumba has her in a conundrum, as she has these feelings for a guy, but doesn't want to voice them out loud. Vocally, she has a relatively low voice, but then get to the bridge, where she does display some pipes. What makes the song work for me is the instrumentation, with catchy synths during the verses, strings in the choruses, and flourishes of electric guitar throughout the second verse. I imagine that if Amber from SickaBOT is watching this, at least I think that's his name, he'll be rolling his eyes, but in the meantime, I'll be perking up my ears. Lee Ann Womack's biggest ever hit was a massive crossover, and I find it easy to see why, with a gorgeous song that still gets played quite a bit even on Reno's local AC station today. Lyrically, the song is encouraging the listener to live their lives to the fullest, accompanied by gorgeous strings instrumentation and background vocals from the Sons of the Desert. If you don't know this song, and considering it was relatively huge, I can't see how you wouldn't know it. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Come on, with the classic guitar lick, those lesser-known key segments that precedes it, that I just played there, in Snoop Dogg's La Da 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 bit, this is one of those songs that everyone knows snippets of and loves wholeheartedly. I mean, there's just so many memorable parts of the song beyond Snoop Dogg's contributions. Nate Dogg, for example, owns the last few moments of the song with his "Hold Up, Hey," and culminating with the now famous "Smoke weed every day." Yeah, people think that was Snoop who did that part. Okay, once you saw that the next episode was going to get praised, you should have also seen this coming. Eminem's breakout hit, it is a classic thanks to the keyboards that provide the backbone of the song, of the instrumentation, and M just putting a smile on my face with his ridiculously funny lines, like how Christina Aguilera gave him an STD. This is a song that would have failed miserably with anyone else performing it, but a white rapper from Detroit managed to pull it off. Lyrically, there isn't much to this song, but that isn't where the enjoyment comes for me. No, that comes from the instrumentation, thanks to the electric guitars that have a fuzzy quality, the synths in the choruses, and even what sounds like a xylophone through the main verse riffs. Smash Mouth are just one of those groups that you can't not enjoy yourself while listening to. Although they would, even with their success, worldwide recognition, thanks to being featured in Shrek the next year, they wouldn't have any more Billboard hits. It's a shame. True story. Back in 2014, when I was at my local men's warehouse looking for a suit to wear to prom, which was spent on a boat on nearby Lake Tahoe, this song was playing in the store, leading me to think of it as a prom staple. Anyways, the Latin explosion of 1999 was still going strong in 2000, and this is one of those relics that narrowly made the year-end list, and I'm glad it did. This dance track has perhaps one of Jennifer Lopez's best performances, as she is awaiting that special night, like most high school seniors do on prom night. On the rare occasion that I hear this song today, I will dance along with it like the world was ending. Many people thought that in 1999, by the way. Okay, that was my list of honorable mentions. Don't you think it's time we talked about the actual top 10? Number 10. Okay, I'm starting out this list with a song that most people will only view as mediocre. However, due to some personal quirks about me, this is a song that I love maybe more than I should, but nonetheless. This Tennessee country band of Texas-based members was relatively big around the turn of the century, with their biggest hit, Amazed, being a crossover that had one of the slowest ever climbs to the top of the charts. That song for me is a 7 out of 10, so it just barely missed my 1999 list. But this is making a hands down. Personally, I like to travel, so this, a song about not wanting to delay a getaway with an old antique automobile, is one that I like a lot. Lead vocalist Richie McDonald has one of those voices that is almost instantaneously recognizable in the country music world, and the rest of the band aren't bad either, from the piano that opens the song to the guitar work throughout. I'm pretty sure you could tell by now, if for some reason you haven't already, that I like country music quite a bit. More will be coming soon, but before then, number 9. You know, I like country music quite a bit, but this top 10 is going to be dominated by 7 rock songs, almost uninterrupted. Let's just start that out with a chart topper, shall we? I think it's fair to say that after Smooth became a worldwide smash in late 1999, Matchbox 20 was put on the map. The only song from Rob Thomas's band to hit number 1 came off their Mad Season album, but even then, this song isn't the most remembered song from that album. Personally, the title track is my favorite from the album, but this song is awesome in its own right. Rob Thomas is basically admitting that he is a broken person and that he wishes his equally broken partner stays with him when he needs her the most. The most memorable part of the song for me is the rock instrumentation, especially the guitars that start and end the song. Anyways, who's ready for some more rock? I know I am. Number 8. A while back, I watched SickoBOT1 share his thoughts on the best hit songs of 2000. In his video, he said that this particular song was how to do a friend zone song right. I don't agree that it is a friend zone song, but I do agree that the song is great. The one-hit song from Washington-based rock band Vertical Horizon was yet another song that had a slow climb to number 1, and wound up being a very popular song in that year, but is not as remembered today. That's a shame really, since I really like this song a lot. In the song, the vocalist is lamenting that a girl he likes is going through a tough time, and that despite his efforts to comfort her, she doesn't seem to acknowledge his existence. You don't know that initially, since he initially uses the pronoun he to describe himself, but it becomes clear by the end of the song that he is wondering why he doesn't mean anything to her. Added in are some synths and acoustic guitars that give the song its tone. There is no way I was going to leave this off the list. Number 7. I know that many people hate this band quite a bit, but I'd like to ask that people be just a tiny bit forgiving, and I have sort of a soft spot for them. Most everyone's biggest problem with the San Francisco-based band stems from frontman Pat Monahan's songwriting, which I'll admit at times is kind of wacky. This song is no exception. Speaking of such wacky lyrics, I find it interesting that Pat Monahan likes to rip on the president, considering who was in office in 2000 and that, again, they are from San Francisco. Anyways, the song Matter discusses a woman who initially longs to be more than what she really is, only to then find out she doesn't want that lifestyle. Personally, what makes the song work for me is the instrumentation, courtesy of the rest of the band. The verses are relatively quiet, with soft guitar work before exploding by the time the chorus hits, accompanied by a bass slide. There's even a guitar solo sprinkled in the song. If Dan Toe of Mr. 96 is watching this by any fluke, know that I respect your opinions about Train, but let me have this one, or maybe 2, or maybe 3, hint hint. Number 6. Okay, right there I've talked about 3 of the 7 rock songs in my top 10 list. How about we take a little break from that to look at a song from a different genre that lost a Grammy to Who Let the Dogs Out? This is my favorite Enrique Iglesias song. By the way, I don't hate Who Let the Dogs Out, but I think this song deserved to win Best Dance Track of 2000. In the song, Enrique is very lonely and wishing that a certain woman was with him. This is a lyrical subject that is done quite a bit, so for it to work, it has to be able to stand out. And stand out it does. The instrumentation does a good job of putting me in a dancing type mood, but it is also simultaneously helps sell the mood that Enrique is in. However, what wins me over with this song is Enrique's performance. I can really feel the emotion coming through his voice, especially at the very end when he does the "just wanna be with you" bit. None of Enrique's future work is going to show up on my best list, so this is as high as he's gonna get for me. But man, is this really good high. Number 5. Considering this band's appearances in my past 3 best lists, this entry shouldn't really surprise anyone. The last hit song from Third Eye Blind is one that I don't love quite as much as Semi-Charmed Life or How's It Gonna Be, but I still love it all the same. Instrumentally, I'd say that the song is up there with Semi-Charmed Life, especially thanks to the guitar bends that form the main riff for the song. Lyrically, the song details lead vocalist Stephen Jenkins not wanting a relationship he has with a good friend of his to end, even though time is slipping away from them, and he acknowledges that it will have to happen eventually. The part of the song that I love the most is the chorus, especially how it just transitions to turn around your back on each other. Third Eye Blind seemed to drop off the face of the earth after this song, but boy, did they go out with a bang. Number 4. I have a feeling that with the exception of my number 1 song, the remaining songs on this list will all be agreed upon as classics that everyone and their mothers love. The first of these is the breakthrough hit of a band that comes to us from Pascagoula, Mississippi of all places. Three Doors Down were a big deal throughout the 2000s decade, and Kryptonite was the biggest of their 3 uber smashes. About everyone loves the song thanks to the rock and instrumentation that starts off relatively quiet in the verses before going crazy in the choruses. But then there's also the lyrical content. There are a lot of songs out there that ask the question, will you be there for me when I'm down? However, this one twists it around quite a bit, instead using Superman symbolism to ask, will you be there for me when I'm normal? I hope I don't disappoint anyone by spoiling that this is not going to be the last time Three Doors Down appears on a best list of mine. Number 3. When I was looking at Genius.com for some background on this song, it was described as a song to have sex to. Considering some of the joke songs that this band has written, it doesn't surprise me, but then again, I can't imagine anyone being able to thrust this fast. This was the only hit song from San Diego-based rock band Blink-182, and for the life of me, I don't see how. I mean, even from the very same Enema of the State album, there were other songs that should have been Billboard classics, such as What's My Age Again. By the way, that's a song I still hear quite a bit on rock stations today. That doesn't mean that this song isn't good. Far from it, despite the fact that this song has very few lyrics. In fact, yeah, most of it is na 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 na. It doesn't have that many lyrics, even taking into the fact that it's not even 3 minutes long, but it is still jammed thanks to that main riff, which I'm sure that everyone knows by heart. The closest that they would come in future years to having another hit would come from I Miss You, and if that song were a hit, it'd probably be a good candidate for 2003 if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, let's move on. Number 2. Okay, I didn't realize before looking into this song's background how many songs this band had dedicated to this very same subject matter. You You might have remembered in my last video, I said that Red Hot Chili Peppers have made better songs before and after Scar Tissue, but this wasn't necessarily one that I was referring to. Might be a bit of a hint. However, it is still great. And yet another song from the band about drug addiction, Anthony Kiedis is reflecting on a former bandmate who died from heroin addiction. The song could also be seen from Anthony's perspective, considering his own history with drug use. If there's one thing that elevates this song above Scar Tissue for me, it is the guitar work, especially after that third chorus, where the guitar tones just change dramatically, preceding a bridge and mini solo that carries on past the final choruses, of course. Now, what is better than this song? I imagine there are going to be some scratching heads for this one, but number one. Before I talk about the song, I should emphasize that despite coming from a Republican-leaning family, I don't think what happened to the Dixie Chicks was fair at all in the slightest, being blackballed like that for stating some views that may have been unpopular at the time. However, there's a part of me that is glad that it did happen, since it would eventually lead to Not Ready to Make Nice, which, by the way, if it were a Billboard year-end hit, would just run away with Best Song of 2007. Anyways, this song from the Dallas-based female country group is just a majestic song to me. Lyrically, the song centers around Natalie Danes' desires for a dreamy guy to whisk her away, and isn't much deeper than that. The true magic of the song comes from the instrumentation. There's just something about the violins that really gets at me, especially in the 2 instrumental segments sprinkled throughout this 5-minute long song. Some of you may be giving me strange looks for this pick, but Cowboy Take Me Away is my pick for the best hit song of 2000. Well, that was my list. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like or subscribe if you want to see more when they come out. I imagine that there will be some disagreements in this video, but don't be afraid to voice them in the comment section. Again, just be civilized about it. I am always interested in seeing how other people view the years that I am talking about, and I am willing to have a kind discussion about the songs that this year had to offer. Next week, I'll have the best list up for 2001, so stay tuned. Until then, I'm Tyler Marchand, and I'll see you soon. Take care.